I will request Director Management sir to present the bouquet and welcome our team speakers for the attention. Now I request all the dignitaries on the dais to kindly light the lamp and inaugurate the
what they feel about the subject and in what way HR as a function is undergoing the transformation to be more relevant and more participative in strategic development of the organization. Of all other things, HR management today follows principles and practices which are proactive in nature. It is in a process of evolution where no CEO of an organization can afford to move forward without taking into consideration the HR indications and the HR initiatives which are required to meet the needs of this organization at that particular moment. Of all other things, I recall a meeting with one of the IT companies, HR head, a few years back, and when I asked them what is the kind of turnover they have, what is the kind of volume of business they are undertaking, the answer I got was very interesting. He said, right now we are 40,000 and we are planning to add 20,000 in the next 2 years. And then further we are planning to add another 30,000 in the next 3 years. I was a bit amused and really just numbers. It's beyond numbers. It's about creating facilities. It's creating about some synergy of their thought process. It's about creating systems and structures and processes which will ensure that these additional 20,000 people when they join, they contribute to the business of the organization in measurable terms, in defined terms. And above all, you have to look at the hierarchical structure, you have to look at their performance management system, reward and punishment system, the gigantic task. This kind of volume, this kind of degree of involvement of HR has been rather unprecedented in the Indian scenario, let us say 15 or 20 years back, prior to economic liberalization. Another dimension of HR responsiveness has been certain innovations which some organizations have attempted. We all know post 2008 there have been difficult times for business the world over. So there have been instances of companies issuing pink slips, retention people. Can something be done about that? Because it's largely a pure business decision. And yet, there have been certain organizations which are thinking ahead of the
moving to acknowledge the value of employees. Making the shift into a new HR role will raise unique issues and make HR more responsive. So, on the first day, we had 9 research papers presented by the students of various colleges of NCR. Just after this inaugural session, on the second day, there will be 2 technical sessions and followed by a panel discussion. The first technical session is current scenario of HR. The speakers are Mr. Harpreet Datta, Executive Director Consulting, Payroll Management and Recruitment Solutions based out of India. As CEO, at PeopleStrong, Mr. Pankaj is responsible to plan and build a strong footprint in India and international market. As the founding CEO, he has been responsible for overall business growth of the organization since the inception in 2006. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Pankaj is board member of National HRE Network. He is also the National Committee member of Skills and Human Resources for CII. He has a master's degree in Human Resource Management from the University of Pune and bachelor's degree in Entrepreneurship from Delhi University. Please welcome Mr. Pankaj Bansal.
Very good morning, friends. Dignitaries and dais, RP, Dr. Rao, and all of you, it's always a pleasure to be at ITS. I've been here, I think, twice before. This is the third time I'm being present here, and it's always fun to talk to all those students and chat up. And when I was coming here in the room and I was thinking of my college days, I remember I used to get bored in these seminars. And people used to come and talk and give flowers to each other. And then we used to stand and see, and we had a joke in college. We used to look at pictures and say, "Kaun kisko flowers de rahe hai batao?" And we used to bet that who was the guest and who was the facilitator. So we did all that. So I was remembering my days, but it's great to see the faculty members and all of you taking so many initiatives to do a program on a subject like this. So let me just share a little bit in the next 15 minutes. So I'll be cognizant of time. So I'll spend about 15 minutes in chatting. I know this is not a Q&A session because it is the protocol of the system is that it is a keynote. It has to be a one-day dialogue. So my apologies for that. But in case you have a burning question and we have 5 minutes left because I have 20 minutes allocated. So I'll try and finish in 15 minutes. And if the chair permits me, I'll ask or take a question if there is a burning question. Alright, so my background is that I was an HR director at a company called Hughes Software Systems. I was HR director there in 2005. Hughes was doing well. I was 28 years old, and I thought I'd become a vice president of HR. What next in life? And that question was bothering me. And the reason why I'm sharing that story because me and another friend of mine said that how do we respond to employees is what we were debating. So we both took a tour to the US. So we looked at the East Coast. The New York and not the Bay Area, I'm talking the New York and the East Coast part. And we asked that how many companies in HR have become big. US has 30 listed companies in HR. You understand the meaning of listed? It's like companies which can allocate shares in the market, right? You know how many companies in India are HR publicly listed in HR? Any guess? There are actually practically there's none. Other than Naukri.com, which is also a .com. So I was very shocked, how can it be possible that in US there are 30 listed companies in HR and India doesn't have a single company in HR which is listed. And then we studied further and me and my friend, her name is Shelly, she was at Hughes too, and we both researched and we were amazed further. The largest HR company in US, what was their revenue? Revenue of that organization was $25 billion. $25 billion is almost like as big as Indian film industry, 8 lakh crore plus, right? And RP and I were talking with rupees sliding further, you can say it's 8 lakh 25 crore. So it is almost as big as Reliance, one company in HR. So we could believe that there are such large organizations in HR which is existing. What I'm sharing with you all is that probably when you think of this theme of responsive HR, Some of you may get excited that there is a huge opportunity in HR to work in this space, how to become more responsive to employees. So of course, HR departments are doing a wonderful job, but there is enough opportunity in market to build businesses around so that HR departments can become more responsive to employees. Right? What do I mean by responsive to employees? Today you think, you all know Naukri, right? Naukri.com. Who's the biggest user of Naukri.com? Placement consultant, corporate, or who? Who's paying them? Who's paying them? Sorry? Corporate? Corporate? You know, 75% of their revenue comes from small placement consultants. Isn't it shocking? So it's not the corporate which use Naukri.com as much as we think. 75% of their revenue comes from these small placement consultants, and India has 40,000 placement consultants. What are they trying to do? They are trying to be responsive to a candidate so that the candidate can get a job. You know, Naukri.com's revenue in last 2 years or 3 years have not increased by adding a new customer, but it has increased by increasing the fee. You know what I'm trying to say? So it means students like you and many people who are searching for jobs are not becoming more and more active on Naukris and Monsters, but they are becoming more and more active on LinkedIn's of the world. So the point I'm trying to say is responsiveness of HR fitness. So when we created People Strong, today we have 500 people. Probably the largest, we are bigger than Hewitt and EY and PwC in India in the last 7.5 years. The whole thing that we were thinking was, we will launch 1-800 number for employees. India's first 1-800 number for employees for Nokia was launched by us, Virgin Mobile was launched by us, Aditya Birla runs on us, Cadbury runs on us. So many of them gradually started saying, okay, we will go away and put a 1-800 number where employee can reach and solve the questions. Number 2, our technology. We completely run on a social. Have you all heard of something called big data? No? So my sincere request, before you hit the corporate, read about big data. You all use Google? Google is nothing but big data. So what is Google doing? There are millions of transactions happening, millions of searches. They are searching from those searches. So they take this big data out and give a trend. So what if I tell you, I can tell a trend of a company what is happening, how many employees of that company are searching for jobs outside. I can sit here in 15 minutes, I can tell you that. So this is the kind of data which is available to us. So for instance, if there are, so assume this company who has maximum calls or problems at a particular location called Pune. So you know the problem is not. So assume this is employee. Right? How would an employee work? Right? This means I means good, no means bad. Are you with me? Yeah. Sorry, okay. Is it better now? Yeah. So I'm saying, assume this is an employee axis, you have employee low means not a good employee high means good employee. And assume this is ownership, right? Now you can use it in the context of college or campus or company, whichever way, right? This is again low and high. Are you with me on? So this quadrant is pretty useless, right? The guy is low on employeeship and low on ownership, right? Nobody wants to work with these people. Am I right? Very institutional, they don't go anywhere. They're always depressing people, cribbers as I call it. Good for nothing, whosoever is their friend, they generally go down. Look at this category. Right? This category is what I call 80 to 90% of corporate people are here. They are good employees, but they are contractors. आप अपना mindset सोचिए, think hard. आपको कितना job मिलेगा, क्या designation होगा, कितनी दूर घर से है, मेरे लिए. So it's a calculation. The day I get a better offer, I move on. Isn't it? 80% of people are here. That's why India is struggling with attrition problem. Good employees, they know what work is to be done. They will follow the work. Look at this quadrant. Thank you very much, friends. If you have any question, I'll be happy to take. Else, I'll just move ahead.
We are fortunate today that we have chief guest today, Mr. R.P. Singh. Born on 5th of January 1953, Mr. R.P. Singh graduated in Political Science Honours from Bhagalpur University and postgraduate in Labour and Social Welfare from Patna University. He started his career with Telco
you, Dr. Mohan. Dr. Puri, Pankaj, Dr. Vicky, Dr. Rao, ladies and gentlemen. See, the job of chief guest is over. We would like to apply. Now, I am here as a friend of yours. And rather than my talking, the job has already been done by somebody. I would prefer that we have a dialogue. We don't go by the protocol. We have a dialogue. What do you say? The responsive HR. I was wondering, the moment you talk of HR, we can't think of it being not responsive. HR has to be responsive, then only it can be considered as HR. The only change that we have witnessed over a period of time is the context and the magnitude and the manner in which we become responsive. Some of the contexts and manners in which HR has become responsive has already been discussed by Pankaj. I would not like to repeat those things. When we speak about HR, at times we indulge into rhetorics, so I would prefer not to do that also. I mean, very simple. As HR professionals, budding HR professionals, let us first decide for ourselves what are we going to do. Left hand, bottom corner. But also focus. HR has to focus on the development of these people. And how do we do it? That's the question. How do we do it? I was looking for an answer. I don't find. Yes.
It's training, employment, engagement, like that.
Yes. We do with that. Is that the solution you think? And who trains?
The HR department also.
HR department trains for the organization.
HR manager, the top management.
Okay. So, fertilizer. I train whom? I train my own people. This is where I have a disagreement. The time has come when the organizations and the HR department of the organizations have to look beyond organizations. Today, we have often said that we go for interviews, there are plenty of people available for the interviews, but not as many suitable for appointment. As we call it, the employability gap. Now, who is going to fill this employability gap? But you also have to be alive to the market from where you attract employees. And this is what I always tell HR people. Time has come when stop focusing only on your own organization. If you have to be responsive
we have also to look for inclusive growth. We all know that HR has moved from the role of facilitator to the role of entrepreneur. We know that the employee engagement has moved on to emotional fulfillment. Now, it's a question of employers' engagement to make sure that the employees are emotionally fulfilled. And who does it for the employer? It is the role of HR. But these are all, very abstract things. I'm giving you just an idea. You as a fresher, you have to start a career. What are the basic things that you must be doing?
Thank you, sir, for elaborating the challenges before HR and the need for looking beyond organization. Sir has emphasized our focus on developing skills among the prospective.
Keynote speaker, Mr. Pankaj Bansal, Director General, Dr. A.K. Puri, Conference Director, Dr. Puneet Mohan, delegates from various institutes and industry, student delegates, members of media, faculty colleagues, and my dear students. I take great pleasure in proposing the vote of thanks on the behalf of the Institute of Technology and Science. Our sincere thanks to Mr. R.P. Singh for sparing his valuable time for this inaugural ceremony. Our special thanks to Mr. Pankaj Bansal for his valuable insights related to responsive HR. We are grateful to all delegates, media fraternity for their gracious presence in this national conference. We deeply want to express our special thanks to management of the Institute for supporting and guiding us to organize such kind of conferences. Our sincere thanks to Director General Dr. A.K. Puri for his continuous encouragement. At last but not least, we are also thankful to our faculty colleagues and administrative staff who had worked hard to make this conference happen. Thank you.